One, let's go. Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It is the NWA Power Review, this week's show called Uncharted Territory. And there is a reason for that, which I'll get into in a minute. But first, I need to welcome my lovely co-host, Miss NWA herself, Miss Fiona Loughlin. Good evening, Fee.
Good evening, my love. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. NWA 76 at the weekend, or the taping it at the
I know. I'm a little bit excited about it and really, really sad I'm not going to get to watch it
We're not
for
going to get
like
to watch it.
another 6 weeks or
Yeah.
however it is.
We'll get into all that. We're going to do a little bit of a prediction at the end. We do have 11 matches so far that's been announced. I've got a bit of a
It's going to be
rant.
a long night.
It's going to be a long night. I've got a bit of a rant about that as well, but I'm going to leave it until a bit later on because I don't want to
Okay.
tarnish what we're doing. Just by the way, we were meant to be joined. The reason why we've done this a bit later than usual is we was meant to be joined by a certain country gentleman who just so happens to be touring the UK in November, Mr. AJ Kazana. Unfortunately, travel issues may have got in the way of that. But if you want to see
Or
a
he may appear. Who knows?
or he could appear halfway through this podcast. Yeah, who exactly knows but he is touring the UK over in November. Some dates have I don't think they've been announced yet when he's coming, but we kind of know where, where and when at the minute. But anyway, let's just get started with the NWA Power Feed. Cold Open was all about the pages. You kind of got this last week, didn't we? Because we had the interview with both Page sisters, and then you got this exact cold open before the main event last week. But it was
Yeah,
still really good, though.
it did feel really good, but I'm kind of like, oh, I wish it was something new.
Very true. Very, very true. We did have.
But it was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was very good. But yeah, I'm like, I love the cold open and the fact that I've seen it before. I was a bit kind of like,
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, you're right. And I did feel that last week. I bet that's the cold open for this week, and it was. Just by the way, big thanks to Kylie Page. That interview will be out tomorrow. This is going out to you on Thursday night. As we're recording, it will be out in about an hour or so's time. So we're not going to be finished long from recording to out on the worldwide Tinterweb. So big thanks to Kylie. Love a sweetheart that we had on this week, Kylie Page. That will drop tomorrow, just in time for NWA 76. But let's get started. As aforementioned, Mr. Kazana he started the show with Taylor Rising, which was quite interesting. So going against Mark, I was going to say Arkova, which is Idol
the
Markova.
looks that
The
kill.
looks that kill Idol and Markova. I did hear on commentary, which I didn't forget, that Rising and Markova were tag team partners once.
They were. It was quite short-lived, I believe, from what I can remember
Hmm.
of it, but it didn't last for long at all.
It
So
it didn't. No, I will say that Markova Narf puts in her kicks, doesn't she? She Narf goes in on.
she does. She likes a leg slap as well.
Oh, oh, lucky we ain't got looks that kill one anytime soon. Um, well, she likes a leg slap, ladies and gentlemen. That's well.
Sorry, my
Well,
bad.
I'm not going to say nothing on that. Anyway, the lads were hitting quite hard as well in this. Kazana and
They
Idol.
were. They kicked that off quite spectacularly, AJ and Brian.
I missed the
Yeah.
spectaculars. On the sides one. I missed it. We haven't seen them in ages. What's going on with the spectaculars?
I don't know. I really, really don't know.
Me either. I want to see him back. I want that. Talk about leg slapping. Spectaculars. Why slap? Anyway,
Were they not butt slapping or thigh slapping? I'm not sure, but
don't know what part of the anatomy they use to slap, but
I'm still waiting on you to do that dance for me, but that's a whole different podcast.
yeah, that is definitely a podcast you won't want to see anytime soon. I did like this though. I did actually like this match in general. I thought it was really good. I mean, it was you could tell that all four of these were very experienced, in what they do. It didn't the chemistry was there. I felt as if like both teams. I mean, I know looks that Kill are generally now a tag team, but Kazana and Rising were very much felt
They
as
were
if
pretty in tune with each other, which was
Mm.
quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
There was a
indeed. Well,
Yeah, there was a lot of near falls in this match as
mm.
well. An awful lot of near falls, a lot of breakups on a 2 count and things like that this time.
Yeah, and did you see the hard landing for the boys near the end of the match?
On the apron, I
Yeah.
know. Like I've literally just written AJ Bryan, ouch.
Yeah, it was very
That
much.
looked nasty. That looked really, really nasty.
It certainly did, and that kind of led the prologue to the finish, which was the beautiful disaster kick, double underhook DDT combo. That is 1, 2, eins, zwei, drei, and looks that Kill pick up the victory. Markova goes into the Burke, shall we? 76. I would say though with Markova, and it was a question I was going to pose actually to you, and I'm going to pose it to you. Markova has had her fair share of world title shots,
She
over the
has.
years. Camille a couple of times, Kenzie
She
Page.
has.
And it's probably a daunting quest potentially. But is it time for her? I won't say is it make or break, but is it time for her to perhaps change it up and maybe challenge, Max? And we'll get into that in a minute because there is an amount to it. She's not challenging Max at 76, but does Markova need to adjust what title she goes for?
I think the amount of shots she's had at the World Championship, I think, I don't want to say she set her sights too high,
Hmm.
but she has had multiple shots in the last 2 years at it.
Hmm.
And actually, just you saying that, I actually think Max and Markova will have an absolute banger, to be honest with you. Markova is so tough.
Yeah,
So, so tough. She hits hard and she just keeps coming back that I actually think going up against Max would be a brilliant match. And the idea of that actually is quite exciting for me.
yeah, I'd like to see that. I just think because ever since I've been watching NWA, it's kind of been Mark over Camille, Kenzie, Mark over.
It's like the nearly women almost.
Yeah, very
She
much
has
so.
been very close on a number of occasions, but
Yeah,
I think ultimately down the line, and I don't know when, I'm not going to put a time frame on it. I think ultimately she will hold that championship.
yeah,
I just don't know when.
yeah. It'd be interesting when she does it. It may well be.
And I'm not entirely sure she's the person to dethrone Kenzie.
I don't know who. Well, I say I don't know who does. I've got an inkling, and we'll get into that when we do our predictions for a 76. But it's a weird one. It's a bit like Camille. It was like who was going to dethrone Camille, and perhaps in a world now, if Camille was still the champion, I would have said Rekka because I think those two are so well matched,
Yeah,
size and stature, and they get
yeah.
on. You kind of wouldn't have thought Kenzie would have done just because again, when you look at the two women itself, they're very Camille's pushing 6 foot.
Kenzie's one tough little cookie though.
She is.
And
She's
she's
a,
tenacious and she's ferocious and she's fierce. And I think people ignore that about her. They just look at her size and write her off.
yeah, instantly when you
They
should.
don't recognize all the other things that she's got going on. So
It's a bit like Jordan Grace, isn't it? She's only like 5 foot nothing and a bit, and she's wet, but she's got. I
she's
mean,
solid though, and she
she,
will take your head off if she
yeah,
needs to.
hence, yeah, exactly that. She will take your head off, and she's built like a fucking brick shit house anyway. But so is Camille, funny enough, brick house. As we were getting onto it, but yeah. So let's find out what happens with Markova as we move on to 76. Obviously in the Burke Invitational. Alex Taylor, and that was next. So this
I
week was
love this.
it's always good when we see the Southern Six anyway. Boo Carey and Silas was with him. So the interesting this week was called Uncharted Territory. Now I think the reason for that is next week's show we're finally going back to those territories, which is a show that we've been in. So it's more like a familiar territory.
Yeah, but this was filmed way back. What did we say, June?
So the territory show is itself was filmed on June 1st.
So we're talking a couple of months back we're going here,
Free.
which just shows you how much jumping around NWA is doing with the how they put their tapings out and stuff.
Yeah, and I'll get to that in a bit when we get to the 76. They're going to say they said basically they're the greatest faction ever, and they're going to the back to the territories. And I believe, so I don't know who they got because no matches were announced next week.
Is that's not where Alex wins, is it?
No. Alex won the match at a house at an indie show.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he didn't win it at territories. It was just a
Okay.
it was just a random show.
So
Um,
we're going to see folk that are no longer there again, kind of like we did with this week's Power then.
Potentially, yes, we will see a few people that are no longer with the NWA, although the Southern Six are indeed with the NWA, and we'll be seeing them in action. Potentially next week, as they've been on this week. It wouldn't make sense for them not to be on next week if they just done a promo. I don't know. We'll have to wait and
Who
see.
knows? It's NWA, anything's possible.
It is indeed, but no, as I just said, no matches were announced for next week, so we'll have to wait. Well, I generally watch NWA before they even tweet out the matches, so it's kind of a weird one for me. But we'll see. We'll find out what happens. Look
I
forward
lo
to
I love that promo. Alex on the
it.
mic. I actually really enjoy him on the mic.
He is so good. I mean,
And he looks tiny when he's got Silas over his shoulder like that.
yeah, I mean, he's a Silas is a big old boy, and poor Alex looks. He does look like it looks like David and Goliath, doesn't it, with those two, and Kerry just muted in the background as well.
Kerry's promos are good. Like Kerry's got the gift of the gab, Silas has got the gift of the gab. I think Alex is now starting to come out into his own with the mic as well.
Yeah, it's really good to see as well. What is great is when you see characters evolve in your front of your eyes. And I know we don't always see them on NWA. Sometimes we're 3 or 4 weeks out, but when you've watched it consistently, like you have and like I have over the last couple of years, you see these sort of characters. I mean, I've even seen Colby Carino evolve a little bit from where I first saw him until right now when I've seen
Yeah,
last saw him. You can tell the change, you can tell the experience, and they're getting better. And Alex Taylor is certainly on that level where you can see him and you can see what he's now becoming his own out of the Southern Six, which is nice to see.
yeah, it is. And he's not, because I was worried he'd maybe get overshadowed by the other two, but he's definitely not.
No, he's not, and it's so good to see him coming out of their shell. We look forward to seeing hopefully the Southern Six, or at least part of the Southern Six, next week on NWA Power. We'll wait and see. 6-person tag team action. No, last week. Oh, gone. You were
No, I was going to say we missed you missed the other promo as well with Magic
gonna
Jake and the kids, but it was a repeat
of last week's.
of the one from last week. Yeah, so it was Magic Kyle with Magic Jake
Yeah.
Demand, the kids, talking about their upcoming tag match, which was obviously on the show tonight. But it was a repeat again, so that's like two kind of
That's why I didn't say it.
promos that we've already seen.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
why.
but I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Although
weird.
I do like that Jake Dema that we saw on the screen. I think
Mm.
I said that last week. I quite like this as well. He's starting to come into his own as well and giving him a little shot at the mic. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because last week we were talking about how he was in a team already, and again, I can never
Yeah,
remember his partner's name. But and obviously he had the lady at ringside. What was her name again? You know,
TJ.
thank you, CJ. So it is nice to see Jake come out of his own. He was great when we had him on here as well, because again, you see that different side of him when he was on the podcast, which was really
Yeah.
good, and to see that. But yeah, they were taking
I
on.
would have liked a new promo though as well though. So
Was that?
I would have liked a new promo instead of the same
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Even if it was from their opposition in this,
Yeah.
it was Drake, Carsten Drake and the Slime Balls, the kids and Magic Jake on the other side. Did Carsten Drake have a haircut?
I'm not sure. It's quite short. Short back and sides.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder's been at it again. Um, I'm sure he did. I'm sure it was. I'm sure he had a haircut on this episode. Anyway, I just wrote down haircut Drake question mark. Um, I will
Two
say
Drakes
that.
in this match.
There was, and I was literally about to get into the other Drake, Jackson Drake, which, funnily enough, both Kenzie and Kylie both mentioned would be one of the hitters that they would bring up from Crossfire Wrestling, KFW. This kid's money. I don't know.
He looks like a star, man. He looks like a star. He has it all.
He's got the he's got the body, he's got the looks, he's got that arrogant swagger about the way he
He's
goes,
got the talent, quite
and he
clearly
can back
has
it
the
up.
talent.
Yeah, he can back it up with the talent, as you say. I'm very interested to see what he does. I'd like, no disrespect to his tag partner, but I'd like to see him away from it on his own.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously we've not seen a lot of him and Lev.
No,
So I think it would be good to see them, but as singles competitors. But I want to see a little bit more tag from the two of them to get to know them a little bit more
yeah,
and just learn a little bit about them. Um, I think even from a kind of technical point of view, even watching them wrestle for being quite young as well,
mm.
the ring positioning and everything in that match was perfect.
Well, he's got good shooters.
He
If you
does have
think
good
about it.
shooters. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
in Kenzie and Kylie down at KFW Crossfire Wrestling. Yeah, I mean he looks the absolute. I mean Jake is was always good in there. Carsten Drake on the other hand, I'm still a little bit. I don't know. I'm not. I'm on the fence with him. I
I'm
like the
not sold
character.
on him yet.
Yeah, I like the character. I'm not convinced in the ring. He only made. I mean, he made me laugh that time Mims was kicking the shit out of his teammate, and he was trying to get. He was getting involved, or he was offering Max money just to not beat him up. Th Those were quite the funny bits. But in terms of in-ring ability, I haven't seen enough of him to sit there and go,
Yeah.
he's
And
there.
there's a few wrestlers in NWA like that, I think.
Well, one of
You just see snippets of them because it's so far between appearances.
yeah.
There's no continuity with them there on a regular basis, so it's hard to get on board with some of them sometimes. I
Mhm.
think that's the problem because there's no continuity.
Yeah, I mean, we've only really seen him in the chef's kitchen. I wouldn't want to try his food either. So it's, you know, it's
I'd
yeah.
rather not.
But hopefully we'll see more of it. As we say, back to the territories next week. But you can see Jackson Drake at Crossfire Wrestling. I think that's on Title Match. I think Kenzie said if you've got Title Match streaming service, I think it's Title
I
Match or something like
remember. I
that.
think Crossfire have a show today or tomorrow.
Today,
Kylie was
I think
saying
it
that there
is.
was a show coming up fairly soon.
Pretty
So
sure. Yeah, you're right. It is either today or tomorrow. So if you're there, go and watch that. Go and see Jackson in action. This match was great. I enjoyed it. I'm sure Drake threw something in the eyes of Lev during this, but also the snot rocket from the slime balls, which is basically an oh yeah. This I'm sure the Rockers used to do that finisher. Mike Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
yeah, I should know that as well because they were my boys back in the day.
Wasn't it where they one of them lifts the other one off, presses them off the top rope, and they do like a splash? That was the finish, right? I'm sure it was,
Yeah,
and that was the Rockers' old finish. It was. I'm positive that was the Rockers' old finish back in
I
the.
need to look into that.
Make sure you do. I'm sure it was. 'Cause I love that finish. I used to love when the Rockers used to do it. So it was a good thing. Or did the Rockers do something else? Now you've got me. I've got
I
myself.
will be like on Google at the end of this, going, ah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on Google and have a look. But I'm sure the Rockers done it. Whether it was a finisher or not, I don't. But I'm sure they used to do it. Or they may have done like a double team move off the top. Anyway, irrelevant. Snot Rocket wins the match for Slime
I
Balls and
love the name of that. That's hilarious.
Snot. Because you know why it's a Snot Rocket? Because he snots in the his tissue, doesn't he? And he, if you
Okay,
Yeah, sorry about
thanks
that.
for that.
That was thanks Danny D actually who said that. He mentioned it on commentary there, which is great. But anyway, the Slime Balls and Carson Drake pick up the victory. We have another backstage promo this time from Aaron. It isn't Blunt Force Trauma, is it? It's always Aaron, and it's always great. But they're going to be basically defending the titles again against Knox and Murdoch at Back to the Territories, potentially next week. We don't know. But another
I
shot for
really
Knox.
want you tag team champions.
Aaron, I didn't say that. That was Pete, not me. But
I love
anyway,
you, Alan, but I love Trevor as well. So
there you
and
go.
Noxie
And
and the Jackalope.
we got to remember, Smalls is going to be involved.
And Smalls, yeah, I forgot about Smalls. Sorry,
He's
my
going to
bad.
be in this. We don't see him half the time because of his size, but but Aaron could get something in the balls from Smalls next, well, whenever their matches. But they're going to be defending the titles again against Knox and Murdoch. And interestingly enough, they when we talk about 76, they didn't say that the matches for the tag team titles that they're in didn't say tag team title match, whether or not that's the fact that they've lost it or whether or not it's just because they don't want to tell you that they have not
Yeah,
give anything away. But
who
yeah,
knows? But
there's
either
no,
way, a cracking promo from Aaron. You know that when Aaron gets on that mic,
oh, it's
you stop and listen.
it's gold.
The man is genius.
You listen, laugh, and boo
Yeah,
with Aaron. He is so good. He's always been good on the mic. He's never been a but this gimmick that he's got, I mean, all this managerial stuff that he's doing at the minute is
I love it. It was made for him,
it
quite
really
literally.
was.
But yeah, or he was made for that. I don't know what you look at it.
Either or works, which is great. King Bees were next. Now they seem into everyone, without sort of, tempting fate here. They're kind of already looking towards the Page sisters, and they are in the main event in a tag against Tiffany Neves and Rekka Tejada.
Well done.
Been practicing, see, been like Samhain. How long did that take?
Yeah,
But
almost.
yeah, all right, I wasn't counting. But anyway, they were basically saying that they're not going to, the belts ain't going to be going to the Page sisters, and they're going to hold on to these titles. So I'm guessing we'll wait and see. But they haven't got a match at 76. Yes, they have. I've just totally lied. They
Like a
absolutely
blue
have got a
what?
match. And so we're going to get through that in a minute. They absolutely have got a match at 76. I've just lied through the back end of my teeth then. Apologies. They do have a
Brain
match.
fart. It's been a
Brain,
long week.
it's been a long day and a long week. Yeah, you're right. It has been. But they won't be in the belts anytime soon. And then, of course, we get the next installment of Only
It
Slams.
was a new video this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it got a bit too close for comfort, really.
I'm still none the wiser. I'm like, I was literally Googling stuff last night to see if I could try and put the pieces together and figure out who it is.
Yeah, well,
I
there is. I
I
know
actually now I think it's someone new.
somebody new now. You think it could be?
I now think it's someone new.
The worrying bit for me was we're getting lower and lower on Only Saps. That's why I was worried about you Googling it. We're getting to the point now where we're seeing the undercarriage, shall we say, of the body. It's going lower now. I'm dread with NWA and what we've seen. Anything is possible, but yeah, I don't know still, and I kind of wish it would hurry up and
I
find.
do. I think it's going to be someone new, unless they've repackaged someone. But
We haven't. There's not really anyone they could repackage, really.
exactly. So maybe someone from one of the territories. I don't know.
Do you know what you need to do, for you just need to pay
Maybe
attention.
it's Zion because
No,
he's always like fully dressed.
I think what we need to do is put you on a scouting mission. You look at the body of that bloke, and then keep an eye out on the bodies of the. Like, just take a
I'll
picture of it.
pass on that.
Well, I can't do it.
But no,
Like,
I do think it's somebody new, but I honestly, but you know what? I'm kind of getting bored of it. It's been
yeah,
running for so long,
yeah.
like, and it's not gotten any further.
Well, we haven't even got a close look, have we? As it, well, I don't want to
Yeah,
get,
but do
but
you know what I mean? Like, how many weeks has this been going on for?
four
They've
now, isn't it?
not progressed it. They've not progressed it at all. Like that was a slightly new video last night. Whoop de do. Like I think if it was me, I'd be putting a little bit more in with each week.
Yeah.
But it's just not been progressing. I'm kind of like, do you know what? See if you're not going to give it to me, just forget it.
Do you think that maybe they've not progressed with it a little bit because they're not sure if it's gonna, you know,
You realize
hmm.
maybe it'll disappear as quick as Cooking with Carson did. Who
Oh,
knows?
that did. I mean, that just
It
bit
was
off the
like two
paper, yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, so well, three actually, cooking car. I
Was
did
it
count.
three? All right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But
Well,
they're back in Tampa in October, so maybe that'll come back. Who knows?
maybe it may well come back. Only slams no, still none the wiser. Getting more worried every week that we see it. To be quite honest, I'd rather look at the upside and find.
Austin Idol, there you go.
Oh no. It was either that or bloody uh, what's it, Joe Casana Senior was going to be the other, just to really
Sorry, I shouldn't have put that thought in your head.
put you off. But no, gags. What about gags?
No, it's not gags.
I know it's not. I was just joking. Who's the
Definitely
one
not
with him?
gags.
I mean, no, it's not Alex Misery either because he's well, he's got a match at 76, which we'll get to. Anyway, let's move quite quickly onto the next match, which was Ella Envy against the departed Missa Kate. So it kind of wasn't well, it kind of was a little bit obvious now who was going to win that match because obviously we
Yeah,
that Missa. Did you see the chewing gum bit?
I can't deal with that. I've seen that multiple times in various settings and it
Have
just
you?
makes me gag.
I've never seen it before.
You've never seen it. I've seen that in indie shows up here before. And I
Must be
just
must be a Scottish thing, right?
probably
So you that don't know,
like
Missa Kate was chewing gum during this match, and then she pulled the cum out of her mouth and tried to put it in the mouth of Ella. Yeah.
it's
Anyway,
not classy, not pretty. Do better, girls.
because the match itself
Although
was
Miss
good.
is kind of crazy, like she comes across as a little bit unhinged and slightly mental, so I'm not surprised, to be honest with you.
True. I actually enjoyed the match other than that, to be fair.
I enjoyed it. I thought Ella was pretty ferocious in it as
Yeah.
well.
Do you know
I
what?
thought she was fierce, but Missa was bang on as well, to be honest with you. And there was a couple of big knees at one quite early on in the match. Missa was
Mm.
in the corner, and there was a couple of big knees to her.
Yeah, they really were.
Um,
And I'm made to think, why did she? I mean, I haven't read the interviews why she went left, so I don't know. I haven't really gone in. I know she's done a few interviews since she's left NWA, so I wasn't quite sure why. Both of them was so well matched, and it kind of begs the question, why did they not? I don't know. Maybe there must have been a reason. I'm sure that there is, but very good match. Sister, I called it Sister Abigail because I'm so used to Bray, the good old late great Bray Wyatt, and now Bo Dallas doing the finish. But after Sam Starr still in the net race.
Miss Star to
Sure.
you.
Oh yeah, like Miss Jazz, isn't it? Miss Star. Yeah, Paul in a neck brace again. Still, uh,
When's she getting rid of that, man? I think she's milking it.
me too. She did pull the ankle of Miss Kate, and that led to the aforementioned Sister Abigail, which led to a victory for Ella Envy. Again, we wasn't surprised about that, knowing what we know,
Yeah.
which we'll find. But it was still
But
a
it
great.
was really fun. I thought it was a fun match. I really enjoyed it actually.
Loved it. I thought it was really good. Apart from the chewing gum bit aside, I thought it was good. I could have done without that. If she'd put it in her mouth, I think I may have switched it off, to be quite honest. I don't know if I could have. It was souring was bad enough. That may have just topped the iceberg. But anyway, after that, we got the promo from Kenzie, which was nice.
I loved it.
Oh, by the way, big fact before you say it, big thanks to Kenzie because people have been watching the podcast.
Yeah,
We did get a mention this week. So one of the first times I think NWA have got, an NWA podcast of ours has gone to, the dirt sheets out in America. We've had it before with a few other wrestlers, but Kenzie's one did reach that goal. Well, it's not a goal of ours to get noticed, but it's always nice when we get a little, tick pie, what's the word? Mention, I suppose.
that's it.
But Joe, you could have mentioned it, mate, by the way. You're the one that bloody tweeted it. But you were saying, Feed, promo from Kenzie.
No, this promo from Kenzie was great, and it was like, who is Kenzie?
Mm.
And from the Kenzie that I knew when she first came in to the Kenzie that she is now on the mic and on her promos is night and day. She's a
Yeah,
completely different person. This promo I know was filmed at Back to the Territories because at the time when the show was on, they posted the NWA on their Twitter or on their Instagram or the Facebook posted some photos and of their champions. And the photo of Kenzie is in her in the same background with exactly the same clothes and stuff on. So it was filmed at the Territory show. But I thought it was brilliant. Like she was so intense in it, so intense.
yeah.
Um, I love listening. She's very much a person that when kind of like Aaron, when she talks, you shut up and you listen.
Yeah, and again, like you say, the fact that how she's come along in that mention. I saw where did was it there where you saw the debut of her? Was that on the video where you saw when she or have I seen a clip of her debut somewhere?
She tweeted something yesterday.
That was it. That was it. I saw her on a tweet of
She
her
tweeted
debut.
she tweeted a picture. Yeah, she
That's
tweeted a
it.
small clip yesterday of
Yes.
her at NWA. I think that was like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, incredible to know how far she's come, and she's in the NWA for at least the next few years. So, but enjoy her while they're there, because I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination, but the likelihood,
I'm
is,
expecting big things from that girl and her sister.
the
Big.
fact that someone like Chelsea Green on the WWE is constantly saying Kenzie Page is the next big thing, and people can laugh at that and say what they want, but Camille is another one that's come out this past
Yeah.
week and said about her. If she, and this isn't a disrespect to the NWA, it will be an injustice on her if she isn't somewhere else in the next before 5 years. I would say I don't think it'd be that long, and that's not a disrespect to the NWA whatsoever or anything
Mm.
like that. It's just natural, that natural
Natural
talent.
progression
Yeah,
and move up another stage.
yeah,
Definitely.
exactly that. She will be elsewhere,
And I'm
and
almost sad that the world aren't getting to see her
yeah,
because of the broadcasting issues.
Yeah, there's a lot of ones that you could put on there. I mean, Kenzie from the women's side and Kylie really, and even the other two that we're going to talk about in a minute. But I mean, the fact that they're not well, we don't know what the announcement is coming up Saturday yet from Billy either. There is an announcement which we'll get to it after this match. We'll talk about the 76. They need it. I mean, just because it's like when with AJ Kazana touring over here in the UK, and I've had
The Southern
promoters
Six are
saying,
over in January as well, but there's
yeah,
going to be a lot of wrestling fans in the UK who don't know who they are.
promoters as well,
I
promoters.
had a promoter message me the other day with a picture of AJ and went, "Do you know this guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah, I
And
was.
he had no idea who he was.
This is the thing. Is that I had exactly the same. I didn't have anyone tweet me, but I was trying to get AJ a booking over at Ignite. Now, if my title match wasn't set, I would have. It was my decision. I can bring in whoever I want, so that would have been fine. But because the match is already set in stone, I can't. It is just literally I can just throw ideas out there, and he was like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah. Which is a real shame because some of the talent on NWA like deserve a bigger
Ridiculous.
platform than they've got.
It is, and we will get into that in a bit more detail in a minute because I still haven't had my rant yet, so we're going to get to that in a minute. But anyway, Kenzie's promo followed up by the Page sisters versus Tiffany Nieves and Reka Tahara, right?
Aga, so close. So close. Next week.
She ain't going to be on next week with any luck.
No, but you'll have it sorted by next week.
Oh, I'll try to have it. I'll try and have it sorted out next week. This again was the only thing I was a bit confused about with this match is it was coming across very heel versus heel, and I wasn't quite because the crowd at one point were kind of on the side of Tiffany and Rekka, and then you could hear a bit for the Page sisters, but then the Page sisters done something that was uh, quite heelish, and then they got booze, and
Yeah.
exactly the same thing happened on the other side. So I was a little bit confused about, I was always going to cheer for the Page sisters, but but it was just one of those I was a bit confused about. But I mean, Jesus, the power of Rekka is just
She very much reminds me of Camille, and I think it's just her size and
yeah.
stature, I think, more than anything
She
else.
looks like she could kill you though. So could
She
Camille.
does.
There's
And
no
she probably could.
Uh, wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Rekka looks like she's going to rip your head off half the time when she's in there. There was a bit of miscommunication in this between Tiffany and Rekka, which actually
Mm,
set up the Code Kylie to win the match.
yeah.
The interesting thing that I found there was it was Kylie that picked up the victory, and I'll go into rationale very, very
Mm.
shortly. I would
I
expect. Go on.
no, on you go, on you go.
How as it goes, I would have expected Kenzie to have maybe hit the Kenzie cutter and
Yeah.
picked
But it's
some.
nice to see Kylie get the pin for
It
that.
is. It absolutely is, and they won, which finishes off a really, format. The four matches of power is always quite an interesting one because there's going to be a few short ones in there. What you did mention though was no ad breaks this week.
There was no ad breaks at all, which was marvelous. So
There is a
yay,
God.
congratulations NWA on that
Yeah,
one. That made me
yeah,
really happy. But before we move on, I'm just
yeah.
curious to get your opinion on this because during that match quite early on, the
Hmm.
referee gets involved
Hmm.
um and actually picks Kylie up
Hmm.
when she's in the ring. She wasn't the legal person at that point, but
Hmm.
she's in the ring and the referee picks Kylie up and pops her up at the turnbuckle. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't like when referees. I don't even like it when referees hold ladders so that they can climb them. Let alone, a referee picking someone up onto the. It felt like a bit that there was something that wasn't quite right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it quite disrespectful.
Mm.
And
It's
like, I don't know if it was just meant to be funny or whatever, but it's like, come on, darling, there you go, out the way, sort of thing. It's like,
you're kind of
I
waiting
don't
for
know,
him to
it
pat her
just
on the
that
head. You know what I mean?
it just riled me up last night,
Yeah.
seeing that, and I was like, that's not cool.
No, it wasn't great on that one. To be fair, I didn't like that at
I
all.
was just curious. I just wanted to ask. I was curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, I kind of thought that it was just something had gone wrong.
Right.
But yeah, looking back on it, it looks a bit disrespectful in the way that as you kind of said, it was, yeah, here you go, you know.
Yeah.
Who was the ref?
It was. Oh, that's really bad.
No, I
I
can't
think
remember who it was.
I can't actually remember.
No, me either. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, look, NWA 76. Let me do rant first, and then we have matches. Look, so look, the card has been pretty much announced, which is fine. I get that you have to announce the card, and the issue that I have with this, and I don't know if you and you probably do feel the same. I hope that you do. Um, we're going to get into the matches. Some matches are announced as champion versus champion. And the hypnosis for some of them is we don't know what championship's going to be on the line. Now, when we read off the matches and predict, it doesn't take a genius to work out what titles are going to be on the line. And I just feel like they've done it because obviously we're so far behind. There's things that are going to happen in the powers that we're going to start watching on the lead up, which kind of makes me think, well, we're going to know the results before we even, if they say, oh, this is a number one contenders match, we're going to be like, well, okay, we know. If Max defends the title, we're going to kind of know that Max isn't going. I mean, we wouldn't expect Max to drop anyway, but yeah.
Yeah.
Point being is we know that Max is going to win. Same, obviously, with Latimer, and we'll get into that in a minute. So then we're automatically going to assume, well, lucky seven. And I find it a little bit disappointing that we sit here, they're recording the biggest show of the year this weekend. We've got to wait. I don't know. I said to you the other
I
day,
don't know how many weeks. Could be
I
four
said,
weeks, could be 5 weeks, could be 6 weeks. It
hmm,
depends how many weeks they cut the territory show into
yeah,
and whether there might be anything else.
yeah. I
I,
mean,
I
you
don't
made a
know.
great point after that because I was saying it's about 12, 13 weeks. And you were like, well, they're not going to air Samhain in February, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got 76 this weekend. We've probably got 4 or 5 weeks of the territories.
Mhm.
And then they
Tampa
might show,
taken,
and then they'll show, so that'll take us to the end of August, the
end
end
of
of
August.
September,
Yeah.
the end of September. Then you're probably going to have 4 weeks probably of 76.
Mhm.
That'll take us to the end of October.
And then you got the Tampa tapings.
And then you've got Tampa tapings on the 5th and 6th of October.
Yeah.
And you've got Samhain on the 26th of October. Samhain's a particular time of year.
Yeah.
Samhain's a pagan festival,
Yeah.
strongly associated with Halloween.
Yeah.
Why would they air that another 5 or 6 weeks down the line at the end of November or going into December? It doesn't make any sense. And part of me is praying that whatever this announcement is from Billy is that they're going to start putting their signature live events or whatever they call them. Is it signature live events? I can't remember.
Yeah, a signature line events. Yeah, that's
Uh,
okay.
that they're going to start putting their signature live events on as a show.
But then they would have to make sure that we were up to date enough to know what the hell's going
I
on.
know. It the continuity. Or maybe it's not continuity. It's frustrating. It's
Mm.
so frustrating.
Yeah, it
As
is.
someone for me anyway, I can't really speak for anyone else, but I'm such a big NWA fan. I've watched it for so long now that having to wait so long for
Yeah,
shows is, and then they're a little bit all over the place, and you're getting spoilers without really realizing you're getting spoilers, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, like we know that Alex has won the junior heavyweight, not is it
yeah.
the junior? We know Alex
Mhm.
has won the junior heavyweight championship, but it could be weeks before we see that, and I don't know.
I'm just.
I think they need to look at it. I think they need
Mm.
to do something about it, to be honest with you.
You made the point in saying that the people that went to the Crockett Cup would have no idea what the hell Tim Storm was doing as Baron. And
Yeah, well, that's it. They went along to the Crockett Cup. Baron von Storm comes out, and they'll be like, "Who the fuck's this? Why is Tim Storm dressed up as a bloody Darth Maul?"
yeah,
Like, because there was nothing on TV prior to seeing him getting his head injury and him
yeah.
changing. And if I was sitting at the Crockett Cup, I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Mm.
To the casual fan who doesn't watch it, then it's just a wrestling match with a character. But
Yeah.
for people there who watch it regularly, they must have been sitting scratching their heads going, what is going on here?
Unless they showed him something beforehand, we don't know. But
I
we
don't
wasn't privy
know.
to that.
I really don't know. But
Anyway,
they
let's
need
get
to
on.
fix it. I think they
Yes.
need to fix it.
Well, we've got a big announcement from Billy coming Saturday, as you mentioned, about the future of the NWA. So we will wait with baiting. We will need to know that ahead of
What do
time.
you think it is?
Oh, do you know what? I'm what I hope it. Well, I'm in two minds of either it's going to be a new show about with the territories involved. I think you mentioned that the other day.
Yeah, I'd be quite keen to see that though. Or stuff going on the YouTube channel from the territories regularly.
Yeah, I would like to think, it's not going to be anything from the international audience, I don't think, which is what I really want it to be about is us getting a more, the international audience getting more visibility. I'm not talking about us, I mean, people in Canada can't see it,
I'm not being funny, right? But we're 9 months in to the CW.
Mhm.
We're looking at it. We're looking into it. We're looking into it. We're looking into it. Radio silence.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. I'm not expecting it for international audience, but how can you grow your product if 90% of the world can't see it?
Yeah, exactly that. I think that's what it's going to be. Something either a new show or something along the lines of maybe them moving to the CW network, so the app. I don't quite know. That's kind of where I'm looking at. I guess we can talk about that next week, so we will find out ahead of time with that. We will have that next week for sure. Um, but let's get into 76. So this is taken from Wikipedia. It's in no particular order. The first match on here was Knox and Murdoch versus the Southern Six. Now it does state on Wiki, and this is taken to Wikipedia, so you take it with a pinch of salt. It will be these two members because Silas is in a match. So yeah, Alex Taylor, Kerry Morton versus Knox and Murdoch. Who do you think wins
I
that?
can't see past Knox and Murdoch. They're huge. Have you seen Kerry and Alex beside them?
I have.
But if Ricky's there, Ricky can be the game changer.
Well, I was just about to say they are with Wiki Morton, so I'm going to tip the other way and go Southern Six.
Boo!
Uh,
Boo the Mortons.
it's because I'm hot, and if I'm hot, I'm hot, and if I'm not. Anyway, Burke Invitational. Now, again, I don't know if we know all of the names
Who
yet.
have we got so far? I
Taylor
have
Rossi.
got so far the entrance. We've got Santana Garrett,
Yeah.
La Rosa Negra,
Hmm.
Alejandra Quintila. I can't
Hmm.
say her name right. I do apologize. Natalia Markova, Lily Ruiz, Adriana Mosley, Hollywood Haley J, Kayla Rossi, Tiffany Nieves, and Misty Marks.
Did you say Markova?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
So that's
obviously Kylie as well.
Kylie Page. Yes. There's
Am I
no
missing
one.
anyone?
That's who I've got on this. I've got Hollywood Haley J, Kayla Rossi, Tiffany Neves, Misty Marks, Kylie Page, Adriana Mosley, Markova, Little Ruiz, La Rosa Negra, and Alejandra Quintalia and Santana Garrett. That's who I've got. Um,
Former NWA champion
she
Santana Garrett
is a
back
former
in
NWA champion.
2015. So there you go.
She is. I'm going for Kylie in this.
I'm going for Kylie purely because I want to see her have a match with Kenzie for the
Exactly.
Burke.
And that's kind of gotten into my thinking as to why Kylie picked up the victory this week. Again, I know we were weeks out from 76, but I kind of think if there is a serious push for her to take on Kenzie, she needs to pick up the victories for the team as well as singly. So that's who I'm going for.
But interestingly, if it is the two of them, we've spoken to both of them.
Mhm.
The interview with Kenzie's out, the interview with Kylie comes out tomorrow.
Mhm.
They've both said they have a plan.
Interesting, isn't it? I tell you what, Kenzie's just so P1 Designs, and I've just lost it, have done a unbelievable picture or poster, Kenzie Page. And it's a bit of a subject change. I don't think you can see this properly, but it's a bit
No,
different.
because your background's getting in the way, but oh,
Look at that. That is a
that's
what a
cool.
bit of work. Anyway, change subject change. But back to the match. So fatal four way for the US tag. So the NWA United States Tag Team Champions, Daisy Kill and Talos defending against the Fixers LLC versus the Slime Balls versus our good friends the Country Gentlemen. But so by then, Daisy Kill and Talos would have had the titles a good few months, I'm assuming.
I was going to say they've not had the titles that long. Um,
They would have
so
by
the
the time it's
Fixers
done.
and the Country Gentlemen have, well, the previous incarnation of the Country Gentlemen had those belts. The Fixers have had those belts. So the Slime Balls are the only people who have not held those belts yet. Um, that's a tough one. I kind of feel like Daisy Kill and Talos will probably retain.
They are with Vampira. If that makes any difference.
Yeah, then I will have a routine for them.
I so want the slime balls.
Really?
I do, but I kind of feel as if Daisy Kill and Taylor. But we don't know because we don't know everything. Again, because we don't know the stories and the lead up. It could
This
easily
is
be
it. We're guessing on matches that we still have a 4 week build up to,
or
so
longer.
or longer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say Daisy Kill and Taylor, but I want the slime balls to win. Or I do like. I don't want to say the fixers because then it's like I'm leaving the boys, the country gentlemen out. But yeah, I just like fixers. Saying it. So yeah, NWA Women's Tag Title match: King Bees, the It Girls. I'm going for King Bees, and
Absolutely.
I can't see
I
past that.
can't see them dropping it anytime soon.
But wouldn't it be interesting though if the It Girls did win the titles and then Kenzie and Kylie went for the IT girls? So that's
And
yeah.
then they got their.
Because we don't know if Kenzie and Kylie have had their shot yet. We don't know.
I'm going to the King Bees though.
I'm still going
Absolutely.
to be. That's just um, singles match to determine the number one contender for the Junior Heavyweight Championship held by Southern Six's Alex Taylor. Alex Misery versus the
Even though
return,
he's not won it yet.
even though he's not won it yet. Yeah, exactly. Alex Misery against Jack Cartwheel, the return. I love Jack Cartwheel. I've seen him at Progress as well. I think he's great.
Yeah, no, I like him as well. I don't know him enough. I don't know. I know Alex Misery. I know Jack Harlow. I don't know either of them enough to
Mhm.
be able to sit here and go, I think he's going to have the edge over him.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on the fence on that one. I actually don't have, I don't have an opinion on that one at the moment.
I'm going to go with Alex Misery just simply because he's more NWA than Jack Cartwheel. I've only seen Jack Cartwheel a handful of times. I've seen Alex Misery a lot more, and I think it would make more sense for them to go for the number one contender with someone that's kind of a roster than
Is
one.
Alex contracted?
I can't remember. They've announced so many names. Big
Okay.
Strong Mims, by the way, was the latest name that they've announced.
Yesterday, yeah.
I don't know, but my gut says Misery, but I would love Jack Cartwheel. I think Jack Cartwheel and Alex Taylor would be a banger if they'd done it. But I'm going with Misery simply because he's an NWA, more of a roster
More
member.
regular,
Yeah,
yeah.
more regular than Jack. I'd love to see Jack. I know he was over here recently. I'd love to see him back in the country. He's an amazing talent. The tag team match that again a really interesting one. Our good friend Baron von Storm and Jax Dane, one of the most intimidating tag teams you could get. And actually, their partners are no slouches either. Magic Jake Dumas or Dumas, depending on who you are,
Wow.
and Zion with Austin Idol. Well, obviously, Magic Jake has got a bone to pick with Mims. We don't know if that's going to happen beforehand because he mentioned it in the promo.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one because obviously Baron's just recently become Baron. As recently as what we've seen. Again, we don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know how many weeks. Jack Stone, Zion's only been beaten twice, quite quick in quick succession. But
Yeah. But he's
um,
also not tagged with Magic Jake before.
so that's why I'm going with the Baron and Jax.
Yeah, me too. Purely, hello, Claw.
Yeah,
Um, I think the way that Magic Jake can get out of that is by a magic trick and an illusion to make him self disappear. To be honest with you, I don't feel like Jake and Zion will have. I was going to say I don't feel like they'll have chemistry. They might have chemistry, but they obviously haven't worked together closely before.
no,
Whereas I think Jax and Baron, they tagged together previously before
yeah.
Baron existed,
Mhm.
only briefly, but they've been together now, and I think they're quite a formidable tag team, and I think it would be unwise of me to go the other way.
Agreed, agreed. The match that I think probably could well steal the show next, Philbilly Silas Mason, Colby Carino, has all the makings of match of the night.
This excites me. This really excites me because Silas is so big and Kobe's, well, not as big. I don't actually know how big Kobe is, but Kobe's not as big. Obviously, Silas is the biggest man that ever lived. Um, this excites me because
This
I think we're going to see a side of Silas that we've maybe not seen before. I think we're going to see a little bit more of an athletic Silas.
It's too hard for me to call. It's
It's a really, really difficult one.
I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna go
out on a
Colby.
limb. You going? I'm gonna go Silas. I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't know. It's so
but
difficult. But
I'm gonna go Colby. Okay, I'll go Colby as long as there's no Southern Six ringside.
well, they shouldn't. Well, they shouldn't be. But we don't know, do we? It's going to be over a few
If
weeks.
there's Southern Six ringside, there's gonna be shenanigans, and it's not
But
going to go in Colby's favor.
now here's the thing. It's in the old ECW arena, right? Who's Colby's dad?
Oh man, if Steve turned up, I'd pop.
Well, I'm not saying he is, but if you could, we're talking about potential surprises. You're looking at Shane Douglas and what he done 30 years ago with the NWA title, threw it in
I
the
didn't
board.
even think about that. Oh my God, if Steve Carino put, oh, please, 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 please.
No,
Yes.
you're
Okay.
going to be
Oh,
so
that would be so
disappointed.
cool.
No,
Sorry, I got excited there.
but there is potentially, as I've already mentioned, that this weekend is one of the 30th years of Shane Douglas throwing the NWA title in the bin. Is there going to be something like that happens? Is Shane Douglas going to turn up? Are we going to see anyone from the old ECW as well, or even the old NWA days?
There's been no announcements about anything
Yeah, I
this
think
year,
that'd
which is
be. I
weird.
think that's going to be nice though, because it'll be a good surprise for the people in the audience. The only thing we've got to stay away,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
but
I almost feel like the hype's just not been quite there
I think it doesn't
this
help that
year.
it's not live.
No, it doesn't. This is true.
If they had, I think they had a two-nighter last year, which was live, wasn't it? And we done both nights, so it was like
Yeah,
a.
because it was the same weekend as All In.
Oh, I was it. Yeah, I was in just coming out of hospital that weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. But yeah, Steve Carino could possibly turn up. I'd love to see it.
Oh, I love that idea. Make it
Um,
happen, NWA.
there
You
you
have
go.
like 48 hours.
Book it, Billy. You got yeah. I mean, I'm probably certain they may have to get WWE permission. I don't know. Steve Carino is a coach at the Performance Center. I don't think whether they'll need it or not. I don't know. But that's my anyway. That
So
is
Santana got it, allegedly.
very, very true. There you go. And so there you go. It could well happen. Crazy. It's been one of the longest NWA reviews that we've done,
I
and we
know,
still haven't
sorry,
finished it.
folks.
No, listen, you love it, right? It's Fee, not me. You love
Yeah,
seeing.
blame me. It's fine.
No, no, no.
Everyone
I
else
mean,
does for him.
they love watching you on the tele, on the YouTube. They don't give a shit about you. Okay. Liberty Bell Brawl. Now I just read non-title.
Okay.
So that's two. That means two things. One, it's non-title. Two, they've lost the tag team titles before they get to NWA 76. That's my gut feeling, and it is Lunk Full Strummer with Aaron Stevens. Did you like that? That was
That
no.
was all right.
Okay, shit. Against Ahoo. There you go. The
Ah.
Immortals.
Okay, in that case, I'm going Immortals. I love the Immortals.
Unless it changes to a world tag team title, I don't know. Maybe the Immortals could do it. It's confusing because it's non-title, which has got me thinking that they're not tag team champions anymore.
Yeah, because why would you have a non like it's your
At
biggest show of the
76,
year?
why
Why
would
would you
you
not have your tag champions defending their belts? Why
make
would you not
zero
do it?
sense? Makes zero sense.
So potentially we have new tag champs.
And potentially those new tag champs could take on the Southern Six in the opening contest of it. Well, not the opening contest, but the match that we've already spoken about. Knox and Murdoch have got blunt force trauma coming up. Anyway, that's enough of that. Enough of speculation. We don't know. So the match 9 of 11 that we're gonna. I'm sure there's going to be one more to make it 12, or it could be they may do a couple of weeks of threes and a couple of fours, aren't they? Or tapings. I now think this is going to be the number one contender to Latimer's title, or is going to be the winner becomes the champion of the national heavyweight champion.
Okay.
Because my view is that the main event is Latimer versus EC3, champion versus champion is announced. But what they have said is they've not speculated on what
Which
championship.
belt?
Now, it doesn't take a genius to work out. It's probably going to be EC3, which means two things. Latimer drops or he uses Lucky Seven. If he uses Lucky Seven, he has to vacate the title. My prediction is he vacates the title and this match, this Fatal 4-Way match, becomes for the National Heavyweight Championship, which is Big Strong Mims, Brian Idol, Birchall, Carsten Drake.
Mims.
Yeah, I was thinking him or Idol because I know Idol's very
Mims has got G's in his corner. Mims.
he does. He has Black
100%
G.
Mims.
The only reason I was saying Idol is because he's quite in with the office, you know. in some bits. But yeah, I agree, Mims. In which case, Mims would become national heavyweight champion. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Match 10 is again champion versus champion. Again, they've not mentioned which title it is, which leads me to believe again that Max, the Impaler, uses Lucky Seven on the women's United States. Oh no, the women's United States. She's women's national champion, isn't she?
Women's TV Championship.
Sorry, television championship. She's women's and men's. Max is women's and men's television champion
Max has both of them. So,
currently.
yeah.
Current at the time of
As
recording,
of right now, Max has both of
as
them.
of the 29th of
Well,
August, 5
as
past
what
8.
we've seen on the TV, Max has both of them.
Exactly. So it leads me to believe that Max will drop the women's TV title. Again, that's not actually on there's no other women's matches other than the Burke Gauntlet, which would indicate that that title wouldn't be used in 76. She will go against Kenzie, and my belief is Kenzie Page finds a way of winning the match because I think the last time Kenzie faced Max, I think Max absolutely destroyed her and Kylie in matches, and
They've
I
met
think
before.
yeah, and I think Kenzie wins this somehow. I don't know how, but she wins it.
I think maybe, yeah. I don't know if we're thinking too much into it, but I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
The fact that they're not mentioning which
Mhm.
title it
I
is.
could be totally wrong. I mean, it's just my thing is that's how they're getting away with not because if we knew that it was, you kind of know that Max has cashed in Lucky Seven because she's no longer the champion. But I could be wrong on that. It's just an assumption at this stage. But who's your pick?
It's really hard to see past Max. They are like, I'm not saying I'm picking them, but they are one of the most formidable wrestlers
Mhm.
in NWA at the moment.
Yeah.
And they are strong and they are faster than you would give them credit for. They are smart,
Mhm.
they are fierce, but so is Kenzie. How long's Max had that belt for?
Oh my God.
And I feel like they need to drop one of them.
I think Max will drop. I think Max will drop in Kenzie.
I think I think I'll go Kenzie.
Good, you've gone with me. Main event, well, I'd say main event. What would be the main event of NWA 76? Again, champions be champion. I've kind of already set the stage that I think Latimer cashes in Lucky Seven and therefore drops the US title belt, no US, the National Heavyweight Championship, and that the Fatal Four Way becomes that match. And Latimer EC3. We spoke about this briefly the other day, and you hit the nail on the head. Latimer absolutely needs this.
He does need this.
He
Without a
absolutely.
doubt,
I
Latimer
think,
needs this victory if it's for the World's Heavyweight Championship.
and it will
Because
be.
if he does not win this, what next for him? What's
Do you know?
left?
Yeah, I
He's
totally agree
dropped
with
this,
you.
he's dropped the belt once before for it.
Yeah,
If he drops the title again because he's reached his lucky seven, and we don't know if that is the case or whether someone else has won it in the meantime.
yeah.
What does it say about him and his abilities if he's done that twice and come up short? So he needs this, and I want nothing more. And as much as I like EC3, I want nothing more than to see Tom walk out there as champion on Saturday night. And he
Yeah.
deserves it. I don't know someone who's worked as hard. Just, yeah, he deserves that. And I will cry like a baby if he wins.
Well, there you go. I think with me, I think he has. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of as we sort of go back, move back into last year? Chris Adonis. If you remember, he
I
went.
miss
I
him.
know. Chris was a great wrestler, but I think I put Latimer in that kind of mold. Like Chris had a couple of matches. I don't know if it was for the world title, it was for a championship a couple of times and wasn't successful, and then he obviously kind of petered away and left. We know Latimer has signed a contract with the NWA that will put him there. I just feel that the time is right, and it kind of gets to a stage where you have to win a match. And
Mhm.
Latimer's in that he's kind of in the territory that I'd put LA Knight in SummerSlam.
Okay.
muscular territory. Braun Breaker was the same. I kind of put him into the belt where, yeah, Braun Breaker had already lost the an Intercontinental Championship match against Sami Zayn, and it was kind of like if you don't beat him, you kind of what are you looking on that for?
No, I'm just thinking, imagine LA Knight was still in NWA and see him and Tom just now go against each other now.
Well, we did say they're both on the CW. Well, the NXT is on the CW network anyway. Do you know
And
what?
obviously LA Knight was in and as
Mhm.
Eli Drake, he was
Eli
there
Drake,
in NWA at the start.
dummy,
So
yeah, yeah, that's what they
shoes
done.
of a champion, baby.
There you go.
Best promo ever.
I think it's Latimer's time. I think his
I
time's now,
do.
and I think he will
Absolutely.
walk out of 76 NWA.
I'm actually that's the one match that I'm like,
And it wouldn't
could somebody
surprise
just stream
me.
it on their phone to me?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if in that particular match, given what's 30 years just gone, is that someone like Shane Douglas may be the referee of some kind in this match, or they may do a kind of Sandman may pop. I don't know. Someone's gonna be there from ECW and involved. Cardona may pop up yet. He's not done finished, but I know he's in TNA at the minute. He's got a pay-per-view coming up.
What if it's a DQ?
I've got a feeling there's going to be a kind of they won't get away. I know they've got a Liberty Bell brawl and stuff like that. I don't think they'll get away with doing a DQ in the world title match. I can't. I just can't see it.
I
That
don't
match
know,
is the only
man.
match, not the only match, but I always feel as if those when you like go to like this is the NWA's WrestleMania, right? This is their big one. You can't have the world title match not finish clean in this. That's my opinion anyway. That's and I stick
You
to
can't. You're absolutely right. But also, it's NWA
it. It is
and anything's possible.
absolutely. I think Shane Douglas is referee for this. That's what I think.
Special guest referee. I quite like that.
All right, we'll wait and see. It is only a few short hours away, but Fee, we've had a nice long chin wag this evening about
It's
NWA.
been marvelous. I love it. I
It's
hope you've
been
all
great.
enjoyed listening to us chat.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. In fact, I know I'm not going to say it because it'll ruin what I'm going to do. So I'll leave it at that. But Fee, it's been fantastic as always to go through NWA with you on a weekend that we hit the 76th anniversary of the NWA. Uh, shall we do
Good
this?
luck to everybody this weekend.
Good luck. We will not be looking for spoilers. The only thing we'll be looking at is the Biddy's announcement for the NWA. But Fee, as I always say, shall we do this again next week?
I would love to.
Let's do this again next week on the Hit in the
Can
Tank.
I just do a quick plug for my show this weekend?
Oh, of course you can. Go right ahead.
W3L on Saturday, the Rothus Rumble in Glen Rothus on Saturday evening. W3lwrestling.com for your tickets. We have Tim Strange up for it. We have Buffa AO. We have Andrew Marshall, TJ Rage. We have a Rumble match, obviously. I don't know how many people are in it though. So, but yeah, I'll be there. Come along, Glen Rothus, one of the biggest shows of the year for us at Glen Rothus anyway. Come and say hi.
Come and say hi
I've
to
had a few
Fee.
weekends off, so I'm buzzing to get back into
She's
it.
buzzed to get back into it. I'm going to be at Revolution Pro Wrestling this Sunday with Rachel. We're going to Rachel's idea. Rachel's got the tickets. Was great. We're going to see a couple of our good friends, a couple of our close personal friends in CPF, and Jay Joshua will be there as well. So will Michael Oku, since losing both Revolution Pro Wrestling and Riot Cabaret championships in the space of a day. But he does take on the man that's going after our turnbuckle title, JJ Gao, this Sunday. So we're looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, Fee, let's do this all again next week when we go back to the territories. Maybe I should wear a wig. No,
You do, you.
we, we won't. But anyway, everybody, this has been the end, a very long-winded, but very great NWA review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle channel. And I was going to split this into two shows, but I've decided not to do it. It's going to be one because we've got Kylie Page going out as well. So keep an eye out on that. Keep an eye out on everything else. HTT Buckle. That is now the tag on YouTube. It has changed to HTT Buckle to match the tag on X or Twitter. So keep it looked on there. Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on Instagram. To see all of the pictures that Rachel takes at our shows and every show that we go to. But until then, everybody, this has been the NWA review on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. She has been Miss Fiona Lockwood. I have been Adam Cousins. And until next time, next week, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.